Ahoy, hoy, heavy fans! I'm Erin, and today I have the great privilege to be joined by Mr. Dale Crover of the Melvins. Hey, Dale, thanks so much for making time to talk to me today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so you very recently surprise dumped a new album on the world.
We did.
There was no lead up or promo hype or teasing about an impending release, from what I understand. Now, from like personal experience, I know that the PR thing can be rather tedious. Was it simply like that you guys are at a point in your career where there was no real need for the PR, or was it more about having fun with your fans?
Yeah, good question. There was kind of a couple teasers there, like a couple of the songs, or at least one of the songs came out on an EP previously called "Never Say You're Sorry." So that came out first, and then I guess that was kind of a teaser, but I guess we didn't really tell anybody like, oh yeah, we got this new record coming out. And I think part of it was because vinyl and not knowing when it was going to show up. We had to basically wait for that, which now because of everything is months and months behind trying to get something. And then when we did get it, it just all of a sudden showed up without any warning. And we're like, oh,
So it's go time.
right. So it's like we knew it was going to come out, but that's what we were waiting for. And then it was all of a sudden like, oh, we got to get this out now. So I think that was a big part of it. And yeah, it's almost like now we're just starting to do press.
Sure, sure.
So that, and also we're working with AMREP, which is a much smaller label than when we were doing stuff with Ipecac. So that's also part of it too.
You guys have been playing some of the songs live though, hadn't you?
We have, yeah, like this last whole year, we did a ton of touring. We started back in March playing with Ministry, and we were playing one of the songs then. We are playing Never Say You're Sorry. So I
Yeah.
think that one was out by at that point.
And from what I understand, that's like a massive fan favorite. It's had a really good response.
Oh, good. Yeah, it seems like it. It's a nice heavy stomper, you know. And then before the record was out, we did some touring in the beginning of summer where we were playing the first song on the record, Mr. Dog is Totally Right, which is kind of like playing five songs because it's 14 minutes long.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 2022. Let's face it, attention spans are becoming extinct. So, what was the thought process behind like opening the record with a stonking 15-minute long song?
Just that it would be really cool. We knew we wanted to write some massive song and have it open the record.
So, when you're in the writing process, do you set out for that to be you like, we're going to write a long song, or is it more that it just sort of rolls in next minute? You're like, oh, fuck, well, I guess that one got away on us.
No, I think Buzz kind of had that in mind. He and Steven had done demos for this record, so which is kind of something that we never really do. Usually because well, we have in the past, but it's been a long time. And usually it's because you start doing a demo and you're like, then when you're going to record the record, you're trying to recreate the demo because you've fallen in love with it. So we always just decided like, let's just not do demos ever and we'll just record the records. But this time, Steven and Buzz went off and wrote songs and they came back with that. But I'm pretty sure that Buzz kind of had an idea that he wanted to do some really long thing.
And I guess that sort of leads into another question I had with like what sorts of things do change in your approach to writing and releasing new music? Because you're veterans of the industry now. And so, comparative to where you guys started, do you just go into new releases with a fuck it, let's just try something left of field? Or have you got a formula? Or
Well, no, I mean, Buzz does a ton of songwriting and just, I'm sure, like, I know that when we're coming up with songs for a record, he'll kind of decide what he wants, what songs to try to use. And then also, he'll put together something and try to decide what kind of song too, tempo wise or mood wise or whatever. So, I mean, he's got no shortage of songs, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I guess compared to records in the past, like I said, we haven't done demos, but also we have our own studio, so it's a little easier than it used to be, where we'd rehearse everything a lot before going in to record, and making sure that we know everything before we go in and spend a bunch of money to and time to record. It's almost like we have kind of unlimited time now, or just not being on the clock. But I mean, even with that, it's like it doesn't mean we sit around and waste a bunch of time. We do, but I mean, but not, I mean, it's we work pretty easily and quickly.
Technology's come a long way too, I suppose, which makes that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes it way easier. But then also just being able to sit there and like work on a song, and then once you've got it, like, oh, okay, I know how this goes now. I can record it right now. I don't have to wait for when we go in the studio. So,
Yeah, and then forget half of it when you get there.
right. And then also the other thing too, and that it's like when I'd have things completely rehearsed, I'd always screw it up. And when I don't have a full plan of what I'm doing, then I don't. Much more fun.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I guess it's more authentic when you're doing it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's very impressive that you say that Buzz, after all this time, is still full of songs. Like, what is the secret to longevity for a band like you guys?
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely he's likes to work and likes to keep things going and is kind of nonstop, like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah, I'm fortunate to have that guy. So
Sometimes, like, the right combination just happens and it all clicks in because
yeah,
there's not many bands that have the staying power like you guys have, and the ones that do that come to mind, there's full of controversies and that sort of thing. So like maintaining friendships and working relationships, I imagine, is just you've either got it or you don't.
yeah. I mean, and then even after this long, like the music's really exciting to me. I mean, when I heard all those songs, I was like, oh, it's gonna be great.
That's really awesome.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel fortunate. I'm fortunate that that's how it is. Whenever there's new stuff, I never go like, this sounds like the same old thing and this is boring and I don't like it. It's never like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, like fan bases such as yours as well, like you guys, being active such a long time, and you've got a fan base that has such a staunch loyalty. Do they still get nitpicky and like gatekeepery about releases and like other criticisms, or do you find that like at this point in time, the Melvins could cut 50 minutes of their own farts and your fans would love it?
Yeah. I'm sure they do. There's message boards where they, I'm sure, talk about all that kind of stuff, but I don't look at it, so I can't.
Fair enough. The Melvins subreddit is the place to be.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know where to stay away from. So
You heard it from me. So you titled the record Bad Moon Rising.
bad mood.
Bad mood.
Bad mood. Yes.
Well, we'll just edit that bit out.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. Everybody I've talked to, because that's the way that you see it. So everybody thinks we're CCR fans, which we are, but no, it was a
Well, my criticism was going to be that I listened to it from start to finish and there wasn't a single Credence cover on there.
no, there wasn't, was there? Or at least if there was, it was unrecognizable because we butchered it so badly.
So what was the theme of the album? Was there a theme or
Gosh, I don't know, but I mean, even that title alone is just like so fitting.
Isn't it though? That's why I asked.
Yeah. So
it just feels like darker times are ahead, right?
exactly. Oh, I don't know. Hopefully we're coming out of it now. Seems like we are. I mean, doing all that touring that we just did this year, I think it kind of made me feel like that things are definitely more back to normal than they were. It was weird at first. It just seemed really strange going out on tour earlier this year, but now it seems fine, and it seemed like people were really happy that we were in their town. The touring we just did was, I mean, probably had more people than we've ever had, and we played a bunch of places that we never played before where there were sold out shows. So it was great. And then there's also a new generation of people at our shows.
That's amazing. So you guys have you always been a fairly heavily touring band rather than recording, releasing?
Both. I mean, we've always done both. Yeah.
So the pandemic, I try to steer away from pandemic questions at this point in time, but it's sort of hard to avoid.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
how did that affect you guys then? Like for a band that's been, again, I keep coming back to the fact that you've been around for a long time. So, I mean, you've seen
Right.
a lot, and then for that to change so suddenly, like interrupt your flow, so to speak, like how did that go for you guys?
Oh yeah. It was pretty painful to not be able to tour for 2 years. I mean, and we did as much as we could. obviously we did this record during everything, but not only that, we did a big acoustic record of older songs, and we did that kind of thinking that we wouldn't really be able to tour that. We didn't want to do a new record of new songs that we wouldn't be able to go out and tour. But by the time that we recorded this one, there was sort of an end in sight, and tour plans coming together and that kind of thing. So it seemed like we were kind of recording at the right time and all that stuff. But I mean, that was, it just, yeah, I mean, I think it sucked for everybody. I'm sure it did.
Oh yeah. It's definitely really nice to have live music back, and it's good to hear that even in other parts of the world, people are getting back into it with more gusto than ever before.
Yeah. Right. You guys were on heavy lockdown, weren't you?
Oh, don't even. I've got PTSD.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was bad for everybody. I mean, I've got two teenagers, and just seeing how they dealt with it, and just knowing how bad it was probably for a bunch of kids.
Yeah, absolutely. What about plans for coming over our way? I know that because of the pandemic, it has made it hard for international bands to a
Right.
degree to get out here, and we're only just starting to see internationals sort of come back out this way. But is there anything on the cards for you guys?
Yeah, if everything goes the way that we want it to, then we'll be coming there next year.
Yay!
Yeah, we really want to. Yeah.
That'll make a lot of Aussies happy.
Next year is our 40-year anniversary, so we want to do a massive tour and do a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, awesome. I was going to bring up the 40-year anniversary, but I was born in 1983, which was when you guys formed, and so
All right.
it makes me feel old, so I don't know how it makes you feel.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's funny. Well, I mean, this is something that I've been doing since I was 16. So, I mean, thinking of it that way too is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's actually, I feel inspired by that because, to know that you have dedicated your life to music and you're still doing it, not many people get that privilege. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you in the middle of touring America at the moment? Is that right?
We just finished.
You just finished. Okay.
Yeah. I just got home a few days ago.
Oh, nice. So a little bit of R&R. Is there what's the plans from here? Are you just going to chill for a bit?
Pretty much. I mean, usually, well, we don't really like to tour in the winter, and now it's getting to be where, it's not going to be very nice out. Usually this time of year, or winter time for us, we'd be coming down your way. So, or we'd like to.
I was about to say, come over here. It'll be, although the weather's just doing crazy stuff over here at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not the place. It's not the place to be. It's like supposed to be coming into summer, and we're still got heaters on where I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not the greatest. Okay, well, I've got one last question, and it's going to sound real stupid now because I mucked up the title of your album, but I always like to end my interviews with just something a bit jovial and fun. So because I thought the title was bad, Moon Rising, but we'll just go with that anyway because it's good fun. So you've been sentenced to live out the remainder of your years on the moon. Your jury has kindly decided that you can take with you one food source, one inanimate object, and one living being. It could be human or animal. So what are you taking with you to complete your lunar-bound days?
Oh, okay. I'll take a guitar. I'll take, and then food. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, one type of food. Oh my God. Oh God.
One type of food to eat for the rest of your life.
That's a tough one. Sushi. How about that? I got to eat sushi every day. And then one human, huh?
Well, human or animal, just one living being.
Oh God, that's a tough one. Oh man. Yeah, I'll take.
Who are you going to offend with this question?
Yeah, I know. I'll have to take my wife.
Nice.
She's gonna have to
All
go.
right, so no divorce for you.
No, but I mean, I might be doing her a favor. I mean, no, you're going to the moon. You're stuck here. Oh, and you know what? And you don't like sushi. Hope you like my guitar playing.
Oh Oh, thank you so much for your time, Dale. It's been a pleasure
Thank
to
you.
talk with you. All the best for future tours. And yeah, for everyone listening, strap yourself in and listen to the newly from the Melvins, available on all the places that music is found.
All right. Thank you so much.